Somebody needs a haircut, and it's not me. Let's talk about propagating snapdragons from cuttings today. I tell you what, I am absolutely not in the mood to do this right now. I am kind of exhausted. It's a Tuesday. I just don't want to do this right now. I would much rather be kicking up in my chair, catching up on some Netflix. But the thing with farming and gardening is that nature is not going to wait. And so even though I planned to film this weekend, I just don't think these guys are going to make it if I hold out that long. So my hands are tied and I have to just do it. The plan is that previously I have made a video on this process where essentially you are taking cuttings from Snapdragons and essentially propagating those so you get multiple different plants and flowers, and then you also are pinching your first version of that plant so that it continues to produce a lot more stems for you. This is by no means a secret in the flower growing industry. It's usually one of those first kind of cheat hacks that you learn along the way is taking cuttings and trying to propagate where you can, and Snapdragons are just one of the more popular varieties that you can do that with. It's actually a really lovely day here in Arizona. In fact, we are in the mid-70s, which again is not typical of our weather here. Another reason I wanted to do this today is because it's going to be really windy. Our wind season is officially starting up here soon in the desert, which people know we don't really have, like a rainy season or, like a true winter season. We have wind season out here. So I want to get these done before I don't have the opportunity to work outside. So let's get to it. Let's give these Snapdragons a haircut. The first thing I had to do, obviously, was to start filling the containers that I was going to put my cuttings into. So I had to fill all of these little tiny larger plant containers or pots so that my little cuttings could fit down into them. You can see the wind is already starting to pick up for the day. You'll need some rooting powder or growth hormone for this. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and poke some holes into my pots that are filled with just regular old potting soil. This will make it much easier to get those cuttings down into. Here I'm counting up leaves. So 1, 2 sets of leaves, and then you can cut above that second set of leaves. I'm doing this one-handed, so it's a little shaky. But we got it. Now that I have my cutting, what I can do is then dip it into that root powder or growth hormone. And what this will do will stimulate this cutting to actually start sending out roots eventually. Fingers crossed that is our end result. And I'm just going to place that down into one of the holes in my little pot. And we just continue to repeat this process over and over until all of my pots are filled with hopefully lots of Snapdragon cuttings. Here's the final result of my first tray of cuttings. I have them down soaking in some water to bottom water them, but I still have a few more I have to get to, so I will definitely have another set of trays. And here is the final result. Here are all of my cuttings that I was able to complete today with my
existing Snapdragons, and then here are the existing Snapdragons I took those cuttings from. Eventually these will be repotted, but today I've had enough playing in the dirt for now.
Alright, that's done. It actually ended up being a lot warmer than what I was anticipating outside, hence why my jacket is gone and my hair is pulled back. But we did get it done. I got about 34 cuttings off of my Snapdragons, or ones that were viable enough or large enough to do that. I did do a little bit of experimentation this season, you know, cutting a little bit lower than what I used to. Some of them, I cut them a little bit smaller. Some of these I did not remove some of the extra leaves on them. So we're going to see what happens. This method is kind of a hit or miss with me. Last season I did get some good, decent, viable cuttings that were able to propagate with the growth hormone, and I got some, you know, essentially free extra plants out of it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a 100% success rate. Some of those last season that I did have, either they just wilted, they didn't get off the ground, they weren't able to establish roots, and in a couple cases, they just kind of stunted, like they didn't go any further from when I actually did the growth hormone on them and replanted them. They just kind of stayed the same, and so I didn't even bother planting them out, which was very odd. They didn't die, they were just kind of hanging out. But anyways, we're going to see what happens this season. One thing I've already kind of lesson learned in my case already this season is that I thought I was going to keep these guys really nice and organized, especially with how I planted them in my cell tray this year. And of course I've got them kind of grouped together by the type. Thankfully, some of these different varieties I have are easily kind of recognizable by the color patterns on their leaves, and you know, some are like a darker purple hue, some are like a lighter bright chartreusey green, some of them have a little bit of a faint design on the leaf. In the end, I don't think I'm gonna have like the spectacular perfectionist planting that I think I was wanting this year, but it's okay, lesson learned. And so that's all I wanted to share with you guys in this video. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.